Hey Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for the latest episode of Sketch It Up, Sketch It Down, a collaborative series that I do with my friend Iris. That is the sketch that Iris created, and that is the Traveler's Notebook spread that I created based upon her sketch. So every month we release a new 12 by 12 sketch never seen before, and then we are going to create something different with that sketch. So today I am going to create a Traveler's Notebook spread. So what challenged me with this sketch was that the photos are at an angle and they are in the center of the layout. And so in creating a Traveler's Notebook spread and having two photos that are on an angle, I had to cross that border. And typically when I create a double page spread, and I have things that cross the line, I like to trim them and then leave a gap so that when you close the book, you don't get rubbing of those structures. So I had to creatively put the photos down. So she has a border on the sketch and then a bunch of labels going down the side. So I put a border. I ripped a piece of the striped paper from the, I'm using the Sunny Days collection from Maggie Holmes that was in my this month's, I'm sorry, March's the Scraproom kit. And so now what I'm doing is, and I'm going to skip through this so that you are not subjected to all of it, I'm going to fussy cut a bunch of these umbrella tops out. I am using them more for the circles. And so Iris has in the sketch, she's got these butterflies, and then she's got this really cool mixed media background. So I'm going to use the circles instead of the butterflies. And then she has what looks kind of like the globes, in a globe, what do you call the grid lines that make the globe? I know, the north and south and the east and west lines. I can't think of what they're called right now, but that's what they look like to me behind the photos. So instead, I'm going to use this stencil, and I used this really cool, I don't know if you just saw it, pixie spray from Thermoweb. It's a temporary adhesive for stencils, so it's got this light tack and it sticks the stencil down to the project that you are working on so it doesn't shift, which in a traveler's notebook is absolutely perfect when you have that seam underneath. So I put a bunch of colors, I just rubbed a bunch of different colors through. They're the same colors that are in this collection, and now I'm going to build the layout upon that. Going back to the pixie spray, you do need to leave it to dry for about a minute, which is why I sprayed it, moved it off screen, and then worked on that stencil work there. So I've got 4 of those circles, and I decided I really needed to create a trio somewhere, and so I just cut off that part of that third one. And my idea in putting these down, and you can see I shift them around a lot, was that I wanted to create movement up the page from the bottom left corner where that title will be, through the photos, and then up to those labels on the right hand side. And so I'm going to arrange these umbrella tops, which I'm using just as circles, from the bottom left over to the top right of the right hand side of the page there. And just as the sketch calls for the labels, I'm going to use labels and phrases that come from my half of the sticker sheet that come in this collection when you get it from the Scraproom. And I'm going to do a mix of light and dark, and I'm just going to use what I have and just fill that top space there so you can see that diagonal movement as a design principle that moves from the bottom left up to the top right there. And so this is where I'm just going to trim off part of the photo and adhere that down. Normally that photo would be crossing the page and then underneath, and so you wouldn't miss that part of the photo there. I am later going to fuss around with that a little bit because it does end up rubbing, and I don't want to have the photos rub each other, and so I am going to end up trimming a little bit more of that off. I'm just going to add a little bit more embellishment to the page, not because I necessarily think that it needs anything, but because I have elements that I can use. I also felt like I needed something a little bit darker as far as embellishments went because the photos are pretty dark, and I needed some balance created with some darker elements there. So I'm just using a few of the hearts, and you can see there's that trio of hearts that again pulls your eye through that diagonal. Now I want to add a title to this, and so I've pulled out some old Pink Fresh puffy letter stickers there, and those Evilicious letters that are on the right hand side there. And they're just, again, they're colors that complement the colors that are in this collection, and darn it, there's no T! So I'm flipping through to see where I can creatively create a T. So what I've done is I've taken an L, and I'm going to use that as the left half of the T, and then the longer leg of the T is, or the longer leg of the L that I cut is what's going to create that T there. So this is kind of where I struggle with the placement of the photos. I really do like them in the sketch on the angle, and I like how it takes the symmetry away and makes the layout feel a little bit more organic. And then finishing off the title, if I were to have put those blue letters on the photo, they would have been very hard to see, so I stuck them on a label that has a white background. So that, my friends, is my rendition of Iris's sketch. These are the close-ups. Be sure to head over to Iris's YouTube channel and see what it is that she created with this sketch. We would love for you to play along. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Take care.